Right now, you're living in one of two states. You are either actively evolving, choosing to learn, adapt, and rise above, or you're unknowingly caught in the repetitive cycles of your past, blind to the subtle forces steering your life. In this journey, you might be unaware of the hidden patterns that have shaped your existence since day one. And here's the startling truth. Most people never break free from these cycles. By the end of this message, you will have a clear understanding of where you currently stand. You'll glimpse the invisible architecture that has governed your life from the beginning. And, most importantly, you'll learn how to liberate yourself. Because whether you ascend to a higher state of being or remain stuck in a never-ending loop depends solely on your next move. If this message resonates with you and you're ready to transform your life, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights and inspiring content that will help guide you on your journey. For the majority of your life, you've been led to believe that you're at the mercy of external forces. You think that life happens to you and that you're merely a passive participant, someone doomed to face an unrelenting sequence of struggles, disappointments, and survival battles. Every morning, you wake up with uncertainty about what the day will bring. Some days seem brighter than others, but there's always an underlying feeling of helplessness. No matter how hard you try, it appears that control is always just out of reach. Things always seem to go wrong, and people around you often let you down. Life can be unpredictable, harsh, and downright unfair. In response, you react. You resist the circumstances that seem determined to hold you back. You fight against what appears to be an insurmountable tide of adversity. Yet, every time you push back, life pushes even harder. Each setback feels like a personal affront. Every failure seems like the end of the line. Before you realize it, you've slipped into a familiar trap: the victim mindset. This is the first level of higher consciousness, and it's also the most confining. It's where people feel paralyzed by their past, gripped by fear, and continuously externalize blame for the hardships they face. You see it everywhere. Individuals who lament, "Why does this always happen to me?" or "I can never catch a break." They believe that life is rigged against them, that they were dealt a bad hand, and there's nothing they can do to change their fate. And as they cling to this belief, it only solidifies, turning every rejection, every error, every hardship into proof that the world is unfair. When you see yourself solely as a victim, your vision narrows. Instead of perceiving opportunities, growth, or the lessons behind life's challenges, you see only struggle. And what happens when you believe in that narrative so deeply? Fear takes over. You become so resistant to change that you even sabotage your own progress. Deep inside, you start to expect failure. You live reactively, allowing life's unpredictable blows to determine your every move. Trapped in this cycle, millions of people never break free. They remain stuck in unfulfilling jobs, toxic relationships, and situations that reinforce mediocrity. They settle for less than what they deserve, accepting struggle as their destiny. But here's the turning point. What if this phase is not permanent? What if this stage of awareness, as limiting as it may feel, is merely a stepping stone? There is a way out, but it begins with a choice. Will you continue to dwell in the blame, bitterness, and repetitive cycles, or will you choose a different path? The decision is yours, and in the next section, you'll discover what it takes to shatter these chains and step into a lochi of conscious creation. After years of feeling as if life were something that just happened to you, there comes a moment of clarity. What if you truly held the reins of your destiny? This is where the shift begins. No longer are you a passive actor on the stage of life. You decide to seize control. You start to set clear goals, craft detailed plans, and pursue your ambitions with relentless drive. You immerse yourself in self-improvement, productivity, and personal empowerment. In this phase, you immerse yourself in books and teachings about success, the law of attraction, and the transformative power of positive thinking. You learn that through discipline and purposeful action, you can shape your own reality. At first, it seems to work. You set your goals and you meet them. You visualize success and sometimes watch it materialize, almost by magic. For a brief period, you begin to feel like the master of your destiny. You no longer feel like a helpless bystander, but rather like someone who can make things happen. You take full responsibility for your future, understanding that if you want success, you must work for it. And if you crave happiness, you must create it. However, as time marches on, something peculiar happens. The more you try to assert control over every aspect of your life, the more resistance you encounter. Not every detail conforms to your plan. Some outcomes, regardless of the amount of effort you put in, simply refuse to align with your vision. You face unforeseen roadblocks, unexpected failures, and personal challenges that lie beyond your control. As a result, frustration begins to seep in. You start to wonder if you're not doing enough, so you push even harder, doubling down on your efforts with more discipline, more strategies, and even more visualization. You become consumed by the need to control every outcome, driven by the fear that a moment of laxity will send everything spiraling out of control. Instead of feeling empowered, you begin to feel trapped by the very notion of control. Every result, whether good or bad, seems solely your responsibility. When something goes awry, you beat yourself up. If you fall short of your goals, you deem yourself a failure. The worst part of this struggle is that you eventually start to fear your own thoughts. The mere idea that a negative thought could manifest something undesirable creates an anxiety that's hard to shake. You become so preoccupied with maintaining a positive focus that you begin to fear any sign of sadness, any admission of struggle, or any moment of vulnerability. In this phase, the need for control transforms into an oppressive weight, one that stifles creativity and erodes your peace. So, you might ask, what if control isn't the answer? What if there is something deeper than simply forcing your will upon life? Perhaps the secret to inner peace is not about controlling every detail, but about learning to trust the unfolding of life itself. Despite your best efforts, life remains unpredictable. Even when you plan meticulously, outcomes still vary. Success is fleeting, and happiness, though it appears, is often short-lived. Deep down, you sense that something crucial is missing. Then comes the next shift, a turning inward instead of outward. Instead of trying relentlessly to control the external world, you begin to observe what's happening within yourself. You realize that your experience of life is not dictated solely by external events, but by your inner lens. Two individuals may face the same circumstance. One might find peace, while the other endures suffering. The difference lies not in the event, but in the perspective through which it is viewed. At this point, you start to understand one of the most profound truths of consciousness. We do not see things as they are. We see them as we are. Your mind, far from being a passive recorder, actively filters every experience through the prism of your past, your beliefs, and your fears. A cloudy day might evoke tranquility in one person, while it brings gloom to another. A challenge could be perceived as an opportunity by one individual, yet as a burdensome trial by another. Even a single word from someone can lift you up or bring you crashing down, all depending on your internal state. It then becomes clear. The suffering you experience is not solely a product of the world around you. It comes from the stories you tell yourself about that world. This is where the transformation from reaction to reflection begins. Instead of being overwhelmed by immediate emotions, anger, fear, frustration, you start to pause and observe them as they emerge. You notice your feelings without being consumed by them. When anger arises, you acknowledge its presence rather than letting it dictate your behavior. In that moment of mindful awareness, you create a space for choice. A rude comment no longer has the power to derail your day, and a setback doesn't automatically equate to failure. As you begin to step back and watch your thoughts and emotions, you discover a new kind of freedom, a freedom that isn't about controlling everything external, but about liberating yourself from being controlled by your internal narratives. With this newfound perspective, you start to ask yourself a crucial question. If the root of your suffering lies within, might the wellspring of your peace also be found inside? This question opens the doorway to the next level of consciousness, a state where life is no longer something that happens to you, or even by you, but rather for you. Every moment, every challenge, every joy, and every hardship becomes an invitation to deepen your awareness and grow. At some point in your journey, you begin to see that every experience, whether it brought joy or sorrow, was not random. Instead, every event was designed to guide you toward a higher understanding. At first, this idea might seem almost impossible. How could all the pain, loss, and disappointment you've endured be working in your favor? Yet, when you reflect on your past, you start to see a pattern. The moments you believed would break you turned out to be the very moments that built you. The heartbreaks that once seemed unbearable ended up opening your heart, and the failures that felt like dead ends eventually paved the way for new beginnings. Slowly, you start to see that life wasn't punishing you. It was preparing you for something greater. With this realization, you shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to a more profound inquiry. What is this moment here to teach me? This marks the beginning of true surrender, and surrender, in this context, isn't about giving up. It's about releasing the compulsive need to control every outcome, and instead, embracing life's unpredictable flow. When you relinquish the need for constant control, you discover a surprising truth. Life is inherently trustworthy. It may be unpredictable and sometimes uncomfortable, but it is unfolding exactly as it should. Every obstacle you once fought against was not there to stop you, but to shape you. Every detour was not a mistake, but a redirection towards something better. The more you trust in this process, the more you allow life to move freely through you. Decisions become clearer, opportunities naturally present themselves, and you begin to feel an undeniable alignment with your path. Yet, even this stage isn't the final destination. Once you start to see that life isn't something you make happen, but something that happens through you, another question emerges. If life flows through you, then who are you? This final realization marks the ultimate stage of awakening, a state of unity where all the boundaries between you and the universe dissolve. For so long, you believed that life was an external force, separate from your inner self, a puzzle to be solved, controlled, or surrendered to. But now, a deeper truth comes to light. Life was never separate from you. Instead, you are life itself, experiencing itself through your unique lens. In this ultimate state of unity, the illusion of separation shatters. The duality of the observer and the observed fades away, revealing only one boundless, interconnected presence. In this state of oneness, every struggle, every fear, and every limitation loses its grip. What once seemed complex now appears simple. What once caused pain now reveals its inherent perfection. There is nothing external working against you, nothing to resist. You come to understand that the same cosmic force that moves the stars, orchestrates the tides, and nurtures every bloom is the force that resides within you. You are not a mere bystander, but an integral part of that magnificent, ever-evolving tapestry. Renowned artists and thinkers have long intuited this truth. Michelangelo once explained that his sculptures were already embedded within the marble. He merely had to chip away the excess. Beethoven claimed that his music was not created by him, but was rather given to him as a gift. And great mystics throughout history have spoken of a state of being in which one no longer struggles against life, but dances with it, recognizing that every experience, every challenge, and every joy is a note in a symphony of growth. When you fully embrace this understanding, you no longer feel the need to search for meaning outside yourself. The journey inward reveals that everything you ever sought was already within you. The constant chase, the struggle, and the fear subside into a serene knowing. All is exactly as it should be. This is the profound peace that comes not from external circumstances or achievements, but from the deep recognition of your inherent unity with all that exists. At this final stage, you experience a liberation that transcends ordinary understanding. The cycles of struggle, disappointment, and self-doubt dissolve in the light of your newfound awareness. In their place emerges a deep, abiding peace, one that remains constant, regardless of what happens around you. There is no more battle to fight, no more need to force outcomes, because you realize that the universe is unfolding perfectly through you. This is the essence of true freedom. It is the freedom that comes when you understand that you are not separate from the world, that the boundaries you once believed existed between you and life are merely illusions. Instead, you come to see that you are a vital, dynamic part of a larger whole, a cosmic dance in which every step, every misstep, and every moment of stillness is imbued with meaning and purpose. Now, as you absorb this realization, you are faced with a simple, undeniable truth. You are the architect of your own evolution. Whether you continue to let fear and the need for control dictate your life, or you choose to surrender to the natural flow of existence, the power lies entirely with you. This is your moment of choice, the moment to step into a state of higher consciousness and claim the life that is waiting for you. So, as you listen to these words, reflect on your journey. Recognize the phases you've lived through, the cycle of victimhood, the struggle for control, and the eventual discovery that true power lies in trust and surrender. Each stage was necessary, each hardship a teacher, and now, armed with this understanding, you have the power to break free from the confines of repetitive cycles. You have the power to allow life to flow through you, rather than being constantly dictated by your fears. As you move forward, remember this. Life will always have its surprises. It will present obstacles, challenges, and moments of doubt. But it will also offer opportunities for joy, insight, and growth that you could never have imagined. Embrace both the light and the shadow, knowing that every experience is guiding you toward a more profound awareness of who you truly are. In the end, the journey is not about forcing life to conform to your plans or relentlessly trying to control every outcome. It is about surrendering to the flow of life and recognizing that every twist and turn is part of a grand unfolding design. When you finally accept that you are not a passive observer, but an active participant in this cosmic dance, you unlock the secret to living fully, freely, and with deep inner peace. Let this message serve as a catalyst for your transformation. Look within, question your beliefs, and dare to trust that the universe is working in your favor, even when the path seems uncertain. With every breath, remind yourself that you are not merely a product of your circumstances, but a vibrant, evolving expression of life itself. And in that realization, you will find that the power to shape your destiny has always been yours. Remember, the journey toward true liberation is not a destination. It is an ongoing process of learning, trusting, and evolving. As you continue on this path, be gentle with yourself. Celebrate the small victories, learn from every setback, and know that each moment is an opportunity to grow. The cycles that once held you captive are simply stepping stones toward a life of profound freedom and joy. So, take a deep breath and step forward with confidence. You are no longer defined by the repetitive patterns of your past. You are stepping into a realm where you are both the observer and the creator. A realm where life isn't something that happens to you, but something that happens through you. Embrace this state of being and let the natural rhythm of the universe guide you to the ultimate truth. You are not separate from life. You are life in all its infinite and ever-changing glory. And in that truth lies your liberation. All along, you were destined not to be a victim of circumstance, but a conscious participant in the unfolding of the cosmos. The choice is now in your hands. Will you continue to cling to the illusion of control, or will you surrender to the beautiful, unpredictable flow of life? The answer, as you discover, has always been within you. There is nothing left to chase, no more battles to be fought. All that remains is the simple, enduring realization that everything is exactly as it should be. Embrace that truth and let it carry you into a future where every moment is a testament to the power of living fully, authentically, and in harmony with the universe. In this state of unity, you find a peace that surpasses all understanding, a peace that is the natural byproduct of recognizing that you are not a separate entity, but a vital, interconnected thread in the vast tapestry of existence. Step into this reality now. Trust that every experience, every trial, and every joy is designed to elevate you. And as you do, you will see that the journey toward awakening is not a solitary endeavor. It is a shared adventure with all of life, an adventure that invites you to explore the depths of your own being and to discover the limitless potential that lies within. This is your moment. This is your turning point. Allow the wisdom of your past, the strength of your present, and the promise of your future to merge into one clear, radiant understanding. You are not merely surviving, you are thriving. And with that understanding, nothing will ever be the same again. If this message resonates with you and you're ready to transform your life, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more insights and inspiring content that will help guide you on your journey.